Welcome to an all-new horror show interview. I'm here with...
Brandon Upson. I'm one of the co-owners of The Archive here in Bridgeport, Connecticut. We're a movie and music store. I also work with Vinegar Syndrome. It's a home video company doing a lot of grindhouse films, horror films from the 60s, 70s, 80s. For Vinegar Syndrome, I've been a restoration artist and I'm like the lead scanning technician. I handle a lot of the film elements going digital, essentially, and cleaning, processing them, and I've been doing that almost 6 years now. And the store we've opened about a little over a year ago. It's been going great.
So how long have you been into horror, like collecting or just the genre in general?
I mean, collecting I've been into for a while. I really got started right after high school. It's a funny story, I had this crazy surgery which almost died from. I had this strep pneumonia. It just almost destroyed my lungs and everything. And this was 2 weeks before high school graduation. You know, everything went well, but for the next 2 months, I couldn't really leave the house. I had to be hooked up to an oxygen tank. That's when I really got into movies, and that's when you know, a lot of people came to me, hey, you know, you want to check this out? And I got a lot of DVDs. You know, Blu-ray wasn't really around then yet, so I got a lot of DVDs then, and then eventually I got into Blu-rays and vinyl. I've been collecting since then for a couple, almost 15 years now.
Wow. So out of, like, let's say the slasher genre, what's your favorite kind of slasher? Like body count slasher or supernatural slasher, creature slasher?
Slashers, it's funny, I think I like the more supernatural ones, because they're always more a little stranger, a little bit more unexplainable if you can. But in that sense too, I do really like the giallo films, and I guess where the slashers are really almost stylized to within an inch of their lives. You know, I'm super stoked that Arrow Video, they're re-releasing Torso. That's always a great one. But even like the early Argento slashers, I really like the early Argento giallo slashers. I like Bird with the Crystal Plumage, Tenebrae, all of those. They're wonderful as well. As far as, like, I guess you call it the more normal or mainstream slashers, I do have a particular fondness for Madman.
I love Madman.
I'm not just tooting Vinegar Syndrome's horn, but, you know, just watching that film again and again, I think it still holds up, and it's a really good kind of interesting take on the Cropsey legend, just on their own spin on it as well. So it's always good to see, you know, someone from Dawn of the Dead, Galen Ross, fighting off a slasher creature, a slasher guy. So that's a lot of fun.
Which do you prefer, The Burning or Madman?
I still lean towards Madman, honestly. It's I know a lot of people love Burning, and Burning is great, but I don't know, just the amount of work I'm biased, the amount of work I put into restoring that too, and like all of Vinegar Syndrome put in for restoring it and QCing it and getting it out there. I'm more partial to Madman at this point.
Was it Arrow or 88 Films that released Madman as well?
Arrow. Yep, yeah. They put out our restoration.
Oh, okay.
Out there, yeah. It's funny because, like, we work with a lot of companies too, helping out with restorations as well. Because Vinegar Syndrome has a sister company called OCN Digital, and through them we do. You know, I've worked on a lot of restorations for other stuff that has come out. You know, one thing that we just helped with that came out is for Last House on the Left. We helped with it's the Kruggan Company cut, I think it's called, that cut. We do a lot of different things too, like with the American Horror Project, OCN Digital, we handled the restorations here in Connecticut too. So it all depends on the project, but we love working with other companies as well.
Yeah, how would you promote The Archive to people who are, like, close to around the area or far away?
Well, if you're far away, you know, it's like, well, it's how far you want to travel. We've had people come from as far as Allentown, Pennsylvania, as far as, you know, New Hampshire, Maine. It depends. I mean, with this kind of store, it's small, but at the same time, it's become kind of a destination place too. And we kind of look at it like we carry a lot of things you won't find in a normal, like, FYE or a Best Buy or anything like that. Nothing wrong with those. It's just that we have a lot of stuff you're just not going to find there. You know, a lot of companies or a lot of places with VHS, you know, most of them are gone at this point.
Yeah.
So the fact that we still have VHS, we still have laser discs and vinyl, and a lot of home video companies, Blu-rays, DVDs, where you'll find Arrow in mainstream stores, but you probably won't find one of my favorites, Massacre Video. Probably won't find that in stores, but so you go through, and we're kind of making it not just for the collectors, but for horror fans and people in general who may be kind of just a little tired of the mainstream stores and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of sad because there were a lot of stores like this. There were you had Mondo Kim's in New York and a lot of places like that, but now that's all gone. So we have a lot of people from the city driving an hour and a half or taking the train up an hour and change and saying there's nothing like this even in New York City. So but if you're gonna come here, just come and enjoy, come hang out, and take as much time as you want and browse.
Set up some chairs, have a beer.
Yeah, we just put out. We're still going through a lot of posters, but we have a lot of original one sheets we're putting out too. We're getting some more shirts in as well. We work with a lot of cool companies like Studio House. They do the tape stacks. We're getting a bunch more of those too. So yeah, that's.
And one more question: if you were, what was the first horror movie that you really sparked your interest that you saw?
It was The Shining, the original of the 1980 Stanley Kubrick film, The Shining. That was because what it was I wasn't really watching any horror when I was like 10 or 9 or 8. I was just watching, adventure stuff or stuff like that. But one of my really good friends, it was a combination of The Shining, but then the Tales from the Crypt, the HBO series. Because they had HBO, and they said, hey, you got to come see this. And I started watching Tales from the Crypt with them. And at the time, I was, about 10, 11 years old, and that freaked me out, that show. I'd never seen anything like that. I think it was the first time I saw nude women as well. The first time I saw nudity, I think in general for that. And but I saw that, and then, but yeah, between that and then The Shining was the one that I think really showed that like horror can be like cinema. Like it's not just stab him, like where you could take like something and horror is art too. So it's not just these slashers, not just ghost stories or gore films. It's that really got me going for that.
Yeah, I was afraid you were going to say the 1997 version.
I did see that too. I saw that on TV when it came out too. I remember staying up for that and like being excited and be like, kind of even as young as I was critical at that moment. I was like, this. But then it was funny because I saw the film The Shining and I didn't read the book for years. Like I'd never read the book, and of course the movie is pretty different from the book as well. And I know the made-for-TV miniseries is supposed to be much more accurate to the book, but I'm still I can't say no to Kubrick's The Shining. So it was fun.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do the interview.
Absolutely.
And I'll promote the page. I'm putting in the link in the description below for the Facebook and the website. If you have a website.
Yeah,
yes.
It's thearchivect.com. Like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all that. It's just the Archive CT, and it will come up. So.
All right, and as always, I am Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. To make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, as well as all the information about the archive, and to leave comments and to subscribe.